and a very warm welcome back to my channel and to today's video, which is our final kitchen renovation tour video. I am really excited to share this video because I know that there have been a few people that have been looking forward to watching this, so I really hope that you enjoy it. If you are new around here, we embarked on a big renovation project a couple of months ago. The project took about 11 or 12 weeks in total, and we completely transformed the layout of the downstairs of our house. So we've opened up our kitchen, we've made it bigger, we have removed the existing utility room wall, we've removed supporting walls, we've had to have steel put in, and we have converted one of our garages. We had a double garage and it's now been converted, so we've only got one garage left, and we've converted the other garage into a new utility room, taken a little bit of space for the kitchen and also created a snug as well. So it will make sense as I go around. I'm going to insert some before footage as well so you can sort of get an idea of what the kitchen was like previously. The kitchen previously was a reasonably good size. It wasn't really our style. It was getting quite tired in places, and when we bought the house we always knew that the kitchen was going to be the biggest project that we would embark on. So it just wasn't a great kind of layout for us. There were things that we wanted to change. There was quite a lot of like empty space in the middle, and we knew we wanted to make the kitchen more sociable and make the kitchen the hub of our home. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk you around and explain like the key features of it. I really hope that you enjoy this video, and if you have any questions at all, just leave them below and I would be happy to answer them. So this is the kitchen if you are looking at it from our dining room. Our dining room door is just behind me, and I thought the best thing to do is just point out some of the key features that we've done and then just walk you around and show you the rest. So from the before video, you'll notice the one big change in here is that the kitchen is a lot bigger, and what we have done is we've actually maximized space that we already had. So we've utilized previous space in the house and changed the layout. We haven't extended the space in any sort of way, so it's not an extension, it's a garage conversion and utilizing previous space. So where the clock is on the wall there used to be a wall there that went into our utility room, and the door for the utility room used to be between the island and the clock, and then that door over there is our garage. So we actually had a double garage and we've converted just one of the garages. So one of the garages through there is exactly the same as it was. We haven't changed the position of that door, so that was always there, but that door used to be in the utility room, if that makes sense. And then that big bank of cupboards at the back there, they are resting on the exterior wall of the house, and on that wall there used to be a window which we have blocked up because we didn't need it anymore. And those cupboards actually are a great way of kind of saving a little bit of space because they're tucked in. I find that wall cupboards nowadays kind of make the room feel a little bit smaller because it sort of closes in on you. So having those, it almost feels like a wall, so it's created quite a lot of space. And then if you look over here, you'll see that we have a alcove here, and this alcove is actually where our garage used to be. So on the wall there where the light switch is, that used to be where the kitchen finished, but we have taken space from the new garage conversion in order to create this alcove, and the main reason we did that was to be able to have the kitchen island put in. The only other way in which we've sort of opened it up and created a bit more space is that we now have bifold doors. You'll have to excuse the state of our garden, it's winter and all the furniture's sort of put away and stuff, so it's a little bit of a mess out there, but we opened up the window and we lengthened it in order to make these bifold doors, which we really love. The only thing is we are quite looked upon by our neighbours, but that's just one of the things that we sort of took into account when we bought the house. We would have rather had a big house because we're a family of 5 than have a smaller house that perhaps wasn't overlooked. So we are planting trees and things there in order to block them out a little bit. But we got these bifold doors, which we love. And then over there, which I will go to in a minute, that window in the far corner is a dummy window, so it doesn't open, but that used to be the door to the utility room from outside, and we've actually lengthened it to make it in line with the bifold doors. So the room feels really open now, which is great. So one of the biggest requirements that both John and I had when we did the kitchen was that we wanted a kitchen island, because the kitchen before was a really good space, but there was a lot of dead space in the middle. It wasn't very sociable. there wasn't anywhere to sit. We could have put a little dining room table in there, but it would have been quite cramped. And so one of the biggest things we wanted was a kitchen island, and we decided to go for a really big island because we wanted to make it the focus of the kitchen. We're also a family of 5, so we wanted a space for 5 stools. We didn't just want to have 2 or 3 in there because we wanted to make sure that we all could eat and sort of be in here as well. So we decided to go for this really big island. I love it because you don't really need to have much space around it as long as you've got space to be able to sort of get around and things. And we decided to go for the pink colour. It's a very acquired taste. We've actually had a couple of people, like the electricians, asked us when they were in here whether John liked the pink, and actually he really likes it because he's a designer. So we decided on the grey and the pink way back when we first went for our initial appointment, and we just love it. I just think it's nice because I haven't gone overboard with the pink in here, but there's just little pops of pink here and there to match the island. And the cabinets and the island come up slightly different colour on camera. So the cabinets at the back and these ones are actually a charcoal grey, but they always look a little bit blue on camera. And the pink is actually more of a sort of dusty rosy pink, but again that comes off a little bit brighter on camera as well. But yeah, we just love the island. So I think the best thing to do is probably just walk you around now and sort of explain some of the key features of the kitchen and what we've done and stuff. So maybe I'll start with the island. Actually, no, what I will do is I will start over here. So that doorway there goes through to our hallway. There's currently still plastic and it's a little bit dusty on here because I want to varnish the doors, but I just haven't got around to it yet. So we're keeping the plastic on the glass for protection. So if you go through there, on this wall, which I will do videos on a later date, but they're not finished yet, this wall has now got 2 doors to our new utility room and to our snug, but neither are finished yet. So I will show you those at a later date. So on this wall here, we put a radiator. We put quite a nice modern radiator, which I really love. So in our house, currently, most of the downstairs has now got kind of more modern radiators, but upstairs we haven't bothered changing them. And then I got this print for John and I's anniversary. I got it specially made for us in the colours of the kitchen. So the Can't Start a Fire Without a Spark reference is actually a Bruce Springsteen song called Dancing in the Dark, and it's like our family song. We listen to it all the time with the kids and stuff, so I thought that would be a really nice kind of present for our 10-year anniversary, and I love the way that that looks on there, and we framed it and I just really like it. So then starting from here, we've got this little section here which houses our fridge and other bits and pieces. So I had a couple of people ask me whether I mind the fridges being over there. So the fridge used to be over there in our previous kitchen, and we sort of just got used to it. It's not far away. It's also really handy for if you are wanting to get a drink or something from the dining room, and we really like them over there. So if I sort of show you this little area, so we've got the floor to ceiling cupboards. These cupboards at the top, all the cupboards at the top are actual cupboards, but because we have really high ceilings in this house, we need to get a stool. So as yet, there's not much in any of them. There's a couple on the other side, but we haven't really got much in them, but they'll be perfect for when we have more kind of stuff in the future. I decided not to go for wall cabinets, like I said, just because I don't really love the feel of wall cabinets so much anymore. I love the fact that everything is floor to ceiling. It just flows really nicely, and it also opens up the room a little bit. So I was gonna do a full-on kind of kitchen organizational video, which I will do like sometime in the next couple of weeks. So I won't show you inside every cupboard. Do let me know if you'd like to see that type of video from me, but I'll just sort of explain kind of what we've done. So we've got a fridge here and a fridge here, and then we've also got the 2 freezers here as well, which is amazing because I haven't had a working freezer for a good couple of years, so I'm loving having the freezers. And then if you go along, that's that little area. And then we've obviously got the bifold doors here. So when we were getting the work done, we suddenly thought, as the work was being done, why didn't we put the bifold doors along the whole stretch of the house? And we suddenly thought, why have we not done that? But in all honesty, it's worked out quite well because firstly, because of the house, we needed to have steel put in above the bifold doors to help support the house. And the steel is the really expensive bit. The bifold doors are also really expensive as well. So I'm kind of glad we did it how we did, because now we also have the radiator there. And I don't think the kitchen would have coped with just one radiator. So it's nice to have two in here. And I can't wait for the summer when we can open up the bifold doors, and I think it'll be lovely. I think it'll be such a nice, entertaining space. So then here is the kitchen island. Like I said, it is really big, but so far we're living in this kitchen, and we sit in here to do the kids' homework. We sit in here for most of our breakfasts and lunches, and also some of our dinners as well. And John and I just tend to sit in here and do work in the evenings and stuff. So it's such a great sociable space. We had lots of people over the Christmas period, and we all sat in here, and it was really nice. So I went for a quartz material for our work surfaces, just again because that's what the kitchen designer recommended as a really durable surface. I love the look of wood, but my mum has wood in the kitchen and it's not so practical with young children and stuff. So we decided to go for quartz. So far we're loving it. We had a little bit of an issue in not being able to get the original worktop style that we wanted, but I'm really pleased that we went for this one. So it's a sort of off-whitey colour, and then it's got lots of little bit of like kind of grain and things in there, and I really love it. So that, I want to say, is called, the brand is Caesar Stone, and I can't remember the exact style, but I can find out if anybody wants me to. I think it's Misty Carrera, possibly. I can't remember exactly. And then I went for these 5 bar stools. So this is not for now, really. It's not a kind of story for this video, but we actually remortgaged for this kitchen. So we had a pot of money. So it was a really big investment for us, and we decided to kind of really not like, we got the things that we wanted basically. So I loved these bar stools after seeing them on a YouTuber called Lily Pebbles, and I just loved them. So they are from a place called Rocket St George, and what I did was I really wanted to get brass bar stools, but I wanted to make sure I got them with backs because I'd be a little bit worried still that the kids would fall off if we didn't have backs on them. So I really love these, and I think they just add like a really nice kind of touch to the kitchen. We've got little brass touches here, there and everywhere, and I really like them. So if I go around to the other side of the island, we decided on a 6-drawer configuration. It's so weird, the colour. It goes such a weird colour in this camera. But we decided on drawers rather than cupboards, just because apparently drawers are easier to get things out of. So like I said, I will do a kitchen organisational video, but just to give you kind of a little bit of an idea, we've got all our plates and glasses and things in here. And then we've also got this really cool inserts as well, where we've got all our cutlery. And so I love this. I love the like wood touch as well. I just think it looks really nice. So that is the island. And then we also went for an induction hob, again pretty much on recommendation of our kitchen designer, who just said that induction hobs seem to be the way forward. Because we didn't have space to put a separate cooker or anything like that in, I wanted it to be kind of clean on the island, so that's why I decided to go for induction. So far we're getting on with it really well. It took a little bit of getting used to start with in terms of cooking, but it's obviously so easy to clean as well, and it's just brilliant. So we're loving having that. We got it down one far end because firstly we thought it would be handy for being next to the ovens, and secondly it means that if people are sat here, they're not going to be affected by the hob. Although, to be honest, people can sit here and they're still not affected by it. So I really am loving the induction at the moment. And then if I go round, I will just quickly show you our pendant lighting. So I really wasn't sure what type of lighting to get in here. I knew I wanted pendant lighting because I think it really makes a feature of a kitchen. And we originally got some that I got from Habitat, and then I didn't like them. So we took them back and we ended up just getting these. They're really simple, but I really like the effect that they give. I really like the sort of really kind of crystal white colour on them, and then the little brass touches as well. And then the grey cords obviously tie in with some of the grey that we've got in the kitchen. So I really love those. They look really nice at night as well when they're on. And in terms of lighting in here, we went for obviously the 3 pendant lights. Then we went for the 3 lights here, 3 lights in the alcove, and then 3 lights on the wall, on the ceiling, sorry, above me here. And then lastly, we went for 1 spotlight over there, and that is more than enough. The electricians were trying to make us go for more just because they said kitchens tend to have lots of light, and I'm so glad that we sort of stuck to our guns and just went for those because it's more than enough. So if I carry on over here, we've got a really lovely vertical modern radiator on the wall here. Obviously, traditionally, radiators aren't particularly the most attractive of things, but I think this one's quite nice. I think it's like a bit of a feature, but also not too much of a feature, if that makes sense. Then we come to our big kind of floor to ceiling cupboards, which I love. So we got all the cupboards and things from the kitchen supplier, and then I picked all the accessories separately. So we got the handles from somewhere else. We went for a double oven setup, again, really on advice from our kitchen designer. However, one of the ovens is a microwave, so it's not actually 2 ovens. I think that you can use this as an oven, but we haven't as yet needed to. So that's a microwave, combination microwave oven. And then in order to make it symmetrical, we have got a warming plate, which is basically just to make it symmetrical really. And we went for Bosch appliances, just again because that's who our kitchen designer used and who he recommended. So we have so much space at the back here, it's crazy. And like I said, if you'd like to see a kitchen organisational tour, I can do one. But I love the floor to ceiling cupboards because I just think they tuck out the way, if that makes sense, and everything kind of flows nicely and makes it feel quite symmetrical. Just as an example, just to show you, we obviously don't have a lot of stuff on the worktops because that's just my preference. I don't like loads of stuff cluttering up the work surfaces. So what we have done is one of the cupboards we've made into a pantry cupboard, and I'll just quickly show you. So in there we have got our toaster, our blender, and John's coffee machine. So this is a really handy cupboard to have, but like I said, I can do a video if anyone would like to see it, and I can show more of the sort of configuration of the cupboards and stuff. So I'm loving the floor to ceiling cupboards. And then it's getting quite dark now. Floor wise, we went for a kind of big style grey tile just because I really loved the effect of concrete. However, I didn't want to spend the money, or we didn't want to spend the money rather, on the polished concrete look because it's so expensive. So I just really loved these tiles because they're quite big and they don't make a feature of the kitchen at all, if that makes sense. So they were from Tops Tiles. I think they're called the penthouse tile, possibly. Again, it's so weird, the colouring, because this now looks blue and this now looks really bright pink. So this comes to our little alcove area, which I love. I love the fact it's like an alcove. And again, this was where we took space from the new garage conversion to make it. So we have got just a cupboard there. Then we've got a dishwasher here. Obviously, this is under the sink. And then we've got our bin here, which I will just quickly show you. So you can see here, I've gone to town on like labeling everything. So we've got our general waste and our recycling there. And then because we had a tiny little gap and the cupboard might have looked a bit weird and unsymmetrical, we just went for a little wine fridge here just because it was the perfect size. Originally, it was meant to be a little bit bigger than that, but when the kind of walls expanded and stuff after being built, it was smaller. So luckily we had one that was the perfect size. And then this is our little alcove area. So we've got the same work surface on here. We've got our little Google Home here. Everything is brass just because I really liked having all the brass fittings and stuff. And then our sink is a composite sink. So I don't love the stainless steel sinks. We've had them in all our previous houses and I find that they kind of scratch quite a lot. So I wanted to go for a composite plastic sink. I love the Belfast sinks, the ceramic ones, but I don't think they would have looked quite right in our house. And then I really struggled to get a brass waste to match the tap. So I ended up getting one from somewhere else. So the waste is actually not the same brand as the sink or the tap, but I managed to find it on eBay. So I'm loving that. And then with the work surface, we got a draining board cut in as well, which is great. And then in terms of tiles on here, we originally ordered some tiles, and then they came and we didn't like them. So we sent them back and we ended up getting these just from a local supplier. They were really cheap, but they're sort of just a kind of distressed like metro tile, which I really like. They're sort of an off-white grey, but I think that helps sort of bring out the flex in the work surface. So I really like them. We got these shelves from a timbers merchant. They're reclaimed scaffolding shelves, and we just gave them a really light coat of white, just so they still look a little bit distressed. If you look closely, you can see all the grain in the wood and stuff. And then I've just filled it with like little bits and bobs, basically. I'm always changing them around. I quite like a cluttered shelf. I quite like everything else minimal and then quite a cluttered shelf. So I'm really loving the look of that. But like I say, I change it around all the time. And that is kind of it for that area. If you see anything that you like the look of and you'd like to know where it's from, then do let me know. But that is pretty much it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else to tell you about, really. I don't think there is, but we're loving it so much. And like I said, if you would like to know any further details about anything, oh, there's one actual thing that I do get quite a lot of questions about, so I'll quickly explain that. So we decided not to go for a hood over our hob, just because in our previous kitchen we never turned the hood on ever. So this room's quite well ventilated, it's obviously quite open plan and it flows through the house. So we decided rather than get a hood, we would go for a modern extractor fan, which again was recommended by our kitchen designer who had known of people who had had these. So it just sits up the top there. It's not entirely straight like as in the center, because behind it there is steel, so we weren't able to put it right in the center. And because it needs to go onto an outside wall, it's got like a boxing around the back, if that makes sense, which then feeds out to outside. It's really good. We're not really 100% sure how it works yet, but it's got a remote control and it lights up when it's getting rid of certain toxins and stuff in the air. So we're loving that. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else really to show you, but we absolutely love it. We couldn't be more pleased with it. There is nothing that we would change in here. Everything it's just, we've planned it so well and so, exactly to our requirements as a family, and we couldn't love it more. And that is it. That is our kitchen tour done. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I am going to be doing videos on the snug and the utility room when we finish them off as well. But if you have any questions, like I said, please leave them below. If you'd like to know where anything is from, or if you'd like to know anything about the building process, then do let me know. But otherwise, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you liked it, and I will see you all very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.